as us hit the road. Sunshine smiles, our stories unfold. Jump in the car, feel that summer vibe. With every mile, our spirits come alive. So let's dance to the beat, feel the glow. In Slovenia, where our dreams flow. Whoa.
Welcome to Sunny Solo. I am Sunny and we are talking about my trip to Slovenia in November to see the fall colors. This is going to be the last part of it because we are at the last day of my trip in Slovenia. If you have not listened to the previous ones, not watched the previous vlogs, you should watch them, and also you should subscribe to the channel so that you can keep watching content like this, which is always about travel. So let's start with the last day, and if you know me, you know that I'm going to talk about food first because I am kind of not obsessed with the hotel breakfast, but I notice things and I like to compare things and I observe and give them ratings and stuff like that. So I got about 6:30 by alarm and then did my normal shower and stuff and then went down to the breakfast room, which was like a restaurant just by the side of the reception counter, like a nice long restaurant. And the first thing I noticed was that there was no breakfast. So I had to ask somebody, and fortunately there was the same waiter who had served me the previous evening at dinner, and he spoke very good English. So I could ask him, like, where's the breakfast? Am I in the wrong place? And he said, no, take a seat and I'll bring you the menu. Like, okay, that's new. So I sat down, he brought me the menu. It was the same menu as last night, the dinner menu, the full restaurant menu. And I said, so okay, what can I order from this? He said, you can order anything you want. That is another new thing. So table service, and I could order anything I wanted from that whole menu. And you know Slovenia, food is expensive, but at this time breakfast was included in the hotel room. So I could order anything and I could order as many things as I wanted. So that takes the cake. And on top of that, I could also have something cooked for me. So other than, normal cereal and all that kind of thing, I could also have something hot cooked for me. So I talked to him. He said, okay, I told him like I'm vegetarian, so can I have eggs or something? So I'm vegetarian, but I do eat eggs. So that's why I could have eggs. And he said, yeah, sure. Poached eggs? So sure, yeah, poached eggs are nice. So he got something made by the chefs, which was especially for me. It was made of poached eggs. It was not just poached eggs on a toast or anything like that. It was like a proper dish which is made based on poached eggs. It was nice and creamy, smooth. I had to put some salt on it, but other than that, it was absolutely wonderful. I don't have the words to probably describe how nice this dish was, but let me just say that if I go back to Slovenia, I would make sure to go to Skofja Loka as well, just so that I can go to this restaurant again. Even if I don't stay in that hotel, I will just go to the restaurant and have that poached dish. All the food that I had in the restaurant was really nice, good quality, whether it was cooked or something ready-made, it was all great. So I had that poached egg dish, I had juice, coffee, latte macchiato, and also a yogurt and fruits. So all of that was good and everything was top quality and top taste, and I think I ate a little bit too much, which doesn't always happen at breakfast, in the hotel breakfast. Absolutely amazing. After that I checked out and then the time was to go back to Ljubljana. So I left at 11 and it was about a 30 minutes drive from there, not very much. This was the last leg of my journey. I don't want to get pulled over, don't want to lose my way, I don't want to have a flat, I don't want to hit the curb. So I drove very, very carefully, paying attention to all the speed limit signs and everything. It was like weather was really not really good. It was very foggy, a little bit of kind of wet, humid kind of climate, but it was okay to drive. So if you don't drive too fast like a rocket, you're okay. So I just took everything easy. After that, I just went in and returned the key. This time it was much easier returning the key. If you remember, it was long wait and everything when I was taking the car out. But this time the girl was there. I just handed her the key and then she said, sure, petrol is there. You took care of the petrol? I said, yeah. And then any problems? No problems. I said, when the deposit is going to come back? And she said, yeah, we'll check the car and then we'll return the deposit in a short while. So For me, before I got home, that deposit was back. It was like maybe 6-8 hours it took. So by evening, I already got the message that I had the money back in my credit card account. It has to be with a credit card, and they don't let you pay. They take it out of the deposit. So it was the whole rent and the e-vignette, which is the Slovenia toll roads. So that done, then I stayed around the airport a little bit because I wanted to go back. And if you have watched the first part of this vlog, you remember what's the easiest way to get into town. The cheapest way to get into town is to go by the shuttle. Just the easy and cheap. So 12 euros they charge you, and they will drop you anywhere in the Ljubljana city. So while I was waiting for the shuttle time, I just looked around. There were a couple of shops there for t-shirts and all. There were no new t-shirts, but there was another shop which had scarves and stuff. That was some time, and then after that my shuttle was there by the time. So this time I did not have the shuttle all to myself. There were lots of people in there. So that took a much longer time. Boring, did not talk to people as well. So that made it a little bit, well, they were there in their own company. So I don't like to butt into other people's circles. I asked the driver to drop me at the Tivoli Park. Tivoli is a big park in the middle of Ljubljana. It's a really huge park. Lots of trees, more like a forest than a park. Lots of trees. There's a little house in the middle of them, and lots of benches and stuff. So this was November, so things were slightly chilly, cool, but not really, really cold. So now I thought I want to fly my drone here, but can I fly? This is a city. There are people around, so I'm a bit shy about that. So ultimately I thought I have to try. Okay, so found a bench. You know how much I love benches. Problem was these were slightly wet benches. So I took my drone out, and in case you don't fly a drone, I can tell you the process. When you take the drone out, you have to turn the drone on, you turn the controller on, and you have to leave the drone on for a while with a clear view of the sky so that it can get the GPS lock. And it has to get about 15-20 satellite lock before it will say that it's ready to fly. In about 10 also it says, oh, it's risky to fly. So this is how it goes. So I left it there to warm up on the bench, arm of the bench. It was a cement bench with wide arm. So I did fly the drone, and there was not a lot of variety in the views. So let me show you this, and then I'll tell you the rest of the story. So as you can see, there was not a lot of variety in the park. There were lots of trees. It was like nice and pretty, and there was this house in the middle. That was done. Then after that, I said, let's go find a toilet, because by this time I needed a loo. I came back way over a wooden bridge, which is like nice wide bridge, and there was a little restaurant, eatery, not fancy restaurant, like an eating place, more dessert place kind of place. So I went in there and asked them if they had coffee, and if they were like a waffle place, yeah. So if they had coffee and if they had a toilet, so they had both, so it was fine. And I had a little discussion. I would not call it a debate, definitely not an argument, just like a friendly discussion around. The guy was saying that they have the best tiramisu in the world, and I was saying like I will be the judge of that, because tiramisu is one of those things that I am also obsessed with. I like desserts a lot, and tiramisu is one of the best desserts in the world. So I have had it in many different countries. In Rome, it was really amazing, but in a few other places also I've had really amazing tiramisu. So I like, yeah, I will be the judge of that, but let me have some. So I ordered the tiramisu with waffle. So went to the toilet and everything, and then after that sat down, had the tiramisu, and I had to admit it was absolutely great. So food wise, Slovenia rocks. Everywhere I had food, even if it was expensive. Mostly, I think if you go through the parts before, the food was always really, really good. And this tiramisu was really fantastic. Then after that, I still had time for my flight. My flight was in the evening. So I went to another place called Metalkova Mesto and used the bus to go there. And this place is famous because it has a lot of graffiti on the walls. It's like a big area. It's not just a wall. It's like a huge area where you can walk through. And I don't know what day it was now. I don't think it was the weekend, but there's nothing open. It's just like everything is like the cottages, rooms, everything is just closed, but you can see. It feels a little bit like you're walking through a post-apocalyptic land. It's very empty. There were some people, other tourists there as well, but it felt a little bit weird. And the quality of the art also, of course, art is very personal, so you might like it more than I do. This place, it was like lots of huge letters, just people written in huge letter than actual art. So anyway, it's just my personal opinion that it was not that great. So if you go to Slovenia, you can't make time for it, yeah, don't bother. Okay, so after that, it was time to go to the airport, and I needed some extra time because I wanted to go by bus. This time I went by a local bus, which is like a special service that goes from outside the main central station. So I walked to the station, found it by Google Maps, it was alright, it was easy. And then central bus station, this is Ljubljana central bus station. And there's a number of the bus is there, and then you can wait at the stop. I think it was about an hour's wait. It was quite a long wait in that weather, but it was not late. I was just early, and I paid for that from contactless, and it was only €3.50 for the airport. So I think that's pretty good deal. It was about a half an hour's drive, and the bus was really comfortable. I found seats, nobody sitting next to me, easy. Once I got to the airport, I still had more time, so I went to the same cafe, the Lolita cafe that I had been there before, and ordered the same caprese sandwich. This time they kind of disappointed me because first of all, they messed up my order. As in, I had been waiting for about, I think maybe 20 minutes or half an hour. When the waiter came back to me, it's like, I'm sorry, they made the wrong one. They made it with meat, so they're making the right one now. We'll bring it out. Okay, so fine, another 10 minutes wait, and then they brought it. And it was soggy. I don't know why it was soggy. Maybe they made it with meat and then took the meat out and used the same slices. I don't know. It tasted nice. It was still very nice, but it was just soggy. So soggy sandwich is not as great as like a dry sandwich. That was my only complaint. They gave me a discount because of the weight. I think they charged me £4 instead of 8 or 12, something like that. They gave me quite a good, like more than 50% discount on that because of the weight and the mistake and all that. It's fine. And the coffee was nice. So from there was nothing else to do but to just, check in, and no turbulence or anything, and the landing was also good. And in UK, it was 1 minute at the E-gate. So if you have a UK passport or a European passport, you can just go through that. And most times I have found that there's not even a queue because there are so many gates that it just keeps people moving along. Then I came out of Gatwick. I had booked a hotel for Premier Inn, so I had to stay there for that night because my last train from London to Doncaster is like 11:30 p.m. Because of the flight coming in, I have to make allowances in case the flight is an hour late, hour and a half. So I should be able to absorb that much. So this hotel was about 68 quid, I think, for the night. So which was a reasonably good thing. So this is the end of the Slovenia trip. I'm not going to talk about the next day because that was just traveling back to Doncaster. So I would like you to subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.